This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Well, millions of people will be gathering for Thanksgiving for the first time since the pandemic started. But ultimately in Oregon, health experts are surprisingly saying they are not worried about a surge in COVID. There are some good numbers to tell you about this morning. Then the annual holiday tradition is back, and the streets of New York will be filled with thousands of people for the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We're going to take you there live this morning. Show you some of the balloons before they travel from Harlem to Herald Square. Then, are you going shopping for Black Friday tomorrow? There are lots of local places you can shop to avoid the supply chain shortages. But what about the parking? Yeah, traffic guru Chris McGinnis has a new installment of Driving Me Crazy. What are the worst parking lots around the city? And the etiquette, my God, the etiquette. Good morning to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Rod Hill and I here for you all morning.
Yes, we hope everybody has a wonderful day today. We hope you're reminded that you love your families. And we'll get on with the forecast, shall we? Here we go with rain moving up into Washington. You know, the tail of the entire weekend, and we'll get more into this, is that the main rain flow is just going to be nearly nipping at us, but staying up to our north. And that's what we have this morning. We have had some showers up around Astoria. Long Beach right now seeing some rain. We've had some showers kind of fizzle over the Coast Range. We are dry in the city. We're at 43 degrees. There actually are some thin spots in the cloud cover, and we have some fog, mainly McMinnville, Corvallis down into Eugene this morning. But PDX partly cloudy currently, 50 degrees at noon, 52 later today. We do have the rain coming in tonight. More on that straight ahead.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you soon, Rod. Thank you. Hey, we have a traffic alert to tell you about this morning. This one in Hillsboro. A live look from photographer Eric Patterson for us of TV Highway, which is completely shut down right now in that area after a serious 3-car crash that happened just before 11 last night. This is about a quarter-mile west of Southeast Brookwood Boulevard. 4 people have life-threatening injuries from this multi-car crash. We're being told this happened before 11 o'clock last night. No word on what caused the crash, but again, TV Highway completely closed right near Cornelius Pass and Brookwood Boulevard. We'll keep checking on this situation for you. Now to the latest with coronavirus, because there's promising news out of OHSU about what's next. The hospital's most recent COVID forecast shows a continued decline in hospitalizations in Oregon. Christelle Kumway joins us live this morning, and Christelle does not predict a holiday surge. That's great news.
Absolutely, Nina. Yes, doctors say as people move indoors to celebrate Thanksgiving, there could be an increase in transmission, but nothing compared to what we saw last Thanksgiving. Back then, only about 9% of people were protected against the virus. Now, about 81% are protected either by vaccination or previous infection. There's also a big improvement in serious illness from COVID. Hospitalizations in Oregon peaked September 1st with 1,187. Now that number is down to 391, and there's some more good news. Researchers we spoke with tell us they are only seeing the Delta variant in Oregon, meaning there's no sign of a new strain throwing things off in the near future.
So it's a very different Thanksgiving. There's still a chance that people can generate a surge if we, really throw caution to the wind, but, Oregon so far has maintained a high mask rate. So in those settings, that's going to protect people, of course. And then if you're doing general precautions to have your events with smaller groups of vaccinated people.
Doctors say the best way to protect yourself from the virus is to get vaccinated or a booster if you've already gotten the shot. Now, this week, Oregon lifted its outdoor mask mandate. It's unclear when masks will no longer be required indoors. However, that will be the topic of discussion at a meeting on December 2nd, and we should know more after that. Nina?
All right, Christelle, thank you so much. Let's talk more about that because, yes, it has a lot of people wondering when will the state lift the indoor mandate now that the outdoor one is off the table. We've known for a while Oregon has no magic number set to drop the mandate. But it became a bigger question this week when the Oregon Health Authority had a press conference, and the question was asked, how did the state determine it was safe enough to drop the outdoor mandate if there are no metrics?
Recall where we were when the mask regulations were first implemented last summer. Our daily cases were numbering in the 4 digits, and our hospital census was more than double what it is today. We took decisive measures, and as has been the case over the course of the pandemic, Oregonians resoundingly responded. Together, we've managed to turn back the tsunami of new infections that very nearly swamped our healthcare system.
So we reached out to public health experts that do not work for Oregon, and many of them told us not having a metric can really damage public trust. But Oregon Health Authority says setting a metric could also damage public trust if they were to have to suddenly reinstate a mandate and yo-yo back and forth. Well, when kids get back to class after the holiday, the Oregon Department of Education is rolling out the Test to Stay protocol. So if kids were exposed to a COVID case in the school setting while wearing masks, they can stay in class if they continue to test negative during the week.
It'll greatly reduce the number of students who miss school due to quarantines.
Create the stability that we know that our students need.
The state knows this will add just one more task for educators to perform every day, so they urge parents to help out by maybe volunteering at school and getting your kids vaccinated. Now to our housing crisis, and slowly but surely Oregon says it is processing those applications for emergency rent assistance. As of yesterday, the state has paid out $149 million in federal money to 22,000 people. This all comes as the program is set to pause rental assistance applications on December 2nd. If you have fallen behind on rent, you're asked to fill out an application before then at OregonRentalAssistance.org. If you fall behind on rent after December 2nd, officials suggest you look to local programs like the one in Multnomah County. Okay, a heads up for anyone planning to use a bus, a MAX train, or a streetcar today. You're going to need to make some plans before you leave your house. TriMet is running on its Sunday schedule all day today. So if your bus line typically doesn't run on Sundays, it's not running today. West Commuter Rail and Portland's Aerial Tram will also not be running. You'll also won't have access to the TriMet Customer Support Center at Pioneer Courthouse Square, and TriMet Customer Service is closed. Okay. You know what that sound means. It's another edition of Driving Me Crazy. So tomorrow is Black Friday. Lots of people shopping, fighting for parking spots at the stores. Chris McGinnis takes a look at some of the worst parking lots and etiquette.
Here at the New Seasons in Slabtown, you've got a very busy and small parking lot with pedestrians crossing left and right, cars coming both directions, and cars lined up ready to steal your spot.
There's tight spaces around here, and you got to get creative and you got to put your skill set on and really go for it.
Though Lisa here at the Uptown Zoo Pans thinks Portland drivers are a little more polite when it comes to parking.
Lived overseas for a long time, and people in Portland in general will follow, first rights sort of thing. If they see that you've been looking earlier, they will actually let you into a spot when it comes open.
Dave here prefers a bike to avoid the parking frenzy.
So I think it's the best way to go. Clearly it's a mess, and look at this. I got my own little rack right here waiting for me.
Dave had the only bike on the rack, so clearly most of us are still driving and competing for a spot. The other parking lot challenge? Avoiding fender benders or having someone dinging your door and driving off. According to the National Safety Council, insurance claims spike on Black Friday and run above normal through the holiday shopping season. Some tips to avoid extra dings and dents? Slow down, back in when possible, and maybe rethink rockstar parking. Farther away might be better.
It might actually be better to park in a corner where there's only one car next to you, and maybe like there's a concrete barrier or a wall there. That decreases the chances of your doors getting pinged a little bit.
When the parking lot fails, if you just need a 5-minute spot, Peabot opened 25 5-minute free fast stops in 5 of Portland's busiest shopping districts. Of course, parking on the street brings new challenges.
Do you have a backup camera?
I wish I did.
It come in handy on a day like today.
I do have the beeping though.
So that helps.
Yeah.
Jamie got his spot eventually, but if you need a refresher on parallel parking, here's a segment we did with Pacific Driver Education.
Now shift to reverse.
Okay.
Turn your wheel and go straight back. and you just made a perfect parallel park.
I want to know what drives you nuts on the roads. Post your comments, photos, and videos to my social media. Or you can email me, cmcginnis@kgw.com. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, whether you were taking a leisurely drive into downtown, maybe you're heading into the office this week, there is a sure sign that the holidays are back on, because the red light on the Portland Stag sign is now actually lit. The iconic image off the Burnside Bridge has been turned on this time of year since 1959. It's always lit on the day before Thanksgiving. Now, this sign wasn't owned by the city until 2010. That's when the lettering you see was added to say Portland, Oregon. The red light is not a light bulb. According to the Oregonian, it's actually a grid of neon tubing about the size of a football. Okay, here's some other holiday stories for you. Get ready to get out and see some holiday lights this year, because Peacock Lane is reopening for the first time since 2019. It is the most wonderful time of the year between December 15th and the 31st. Residents who live on that street putting on the big light show, but some staples will still not be back because of the pandemic. So no volunteers at the Cocoa booth and no designated pedestrian-only nights. Residents say they look forward to seeing you soon, as they're in Southeast Portland, just off Belmont. Really fun. Okay, speaking of the holidays, the KGW Great Toy Drive is here, and we want to make it easy for you to give. So if you can't pick out a toy or you don't want to, you can just go onto our website, kgw.com/toy, and click Donate Cash. We'll shop for you, or you can drop off a new unwrapped toy at IQ Credit Union, Fred Meyer, or Toyota dealerships. And also, we are able to collect toys in person this year, and we're doing an event this Saturday at IKEA from 10 to 2 o'clock. So you come by, say hello to some KGW personalities, drop off a toy, and help bring a little joy to families this season. You might even see some people you know there. That's Saturday starting at 10 o'clock. All right, Rod, Thanksgiving forecast, football on the couch.
Yes.
What are we looking at?
You know, last year, real quick, wasn't bad. I checked. Last year it was mostly cloudy and 50 degrees. This year we're going to be mostly cloudy, and we think we will be a little bit above 50, maybe 52, 53, 54. But overall, pretty nice. You know, the tale for the entire holiday weekend, today through Sunday, is that the cloud flow most hours is going to be holding just to our north in terms of the thicker clouds where the rain will be. So if you are traveling north up to Seattle, maybe you're driving to see family that direction, that's where it will be raining today. And you can see it on the radar right here. And we're just getting nipped around Astoria, Long Beach, and up in Cowlitz County, what have been some very light rain showers this morning. Here's the radar. We don't expect anything in Portland, Vancouver, or Salem until we get into this evening. Here's Futurecast at 9:30 this morning, and it does show some thin spots in the cloud cover. And in fact, PDX reporting partly cloudy skies right now. The big story today comes later on. Here's Futurecast showing rain late afternoon hitting the north coast. Here we are at 7, rain approaching. Then that solid rain band comes in. That will be breaking into showers by tomorrow morning. And I still think the showers will be ending as we get going into tomorrow afternoon. 54 today, 55 tomorrow. There's a shower chance Saturday, but mainly dry, and mainly dry on Sunday. Both days are going to be around 60 degrees. I mean, overall, that's why the turkey's doing a little shake right there, because overall, Nina, it looks pretty good. That felt better than I was expecting it to. All right.
Wait till you get that belly full. All right, Rod, thank you so much. Hey, coming up, we all know Santa doesn't need any help delivering all those Christmas presents, but he is still calling for some reinforcements to meet with all the kids, the ways that you can help this holiday season. But first, we still have to get through the turkey and potatoes before it's time to think about Thanksgiving. What you need to know about your pets and Thanksgiving food.
Hi, I'm BM2 Canals. I'm currently stationed on the USS Carl Vinson, originally from Baker City, Oregon. Just want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving to my friends and family.